by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Welcome everybody to House to Home, the segment here where we always get it right the very first time out. And Gina is here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jace.
You know, I'm curious about something. You and Liz, who is not here right now, she is skiing, enjoying the culture, the history of Japan and everything like that.
Yeah, she is.
But that allows you to have the spotlight, very deservedly so. But you know, you always talk about in the real estate industry, you guys have your code of ethics. And ethics are subjective. Ethics are subject maybe to change over time and everything like that.
They've grown with the industry, definitely. But, you know, our preamble starts with, under all is the land. And that's kind of what I wanted to start with.
I like that.
I wanted to start that with the new year.
Okay.
You know, we recapped last year about how the market's been and what it's doing, and we've talked a little bit about, you know, the cost of homes and the cost of rentals here in Guam. And I think the most important thing and how we could begin this new year is to talk about selling your property, because if people want something a little bit more affordable, I think building is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting how you say below all is the land.
Below
all, that makes sense.
Below all is the land.
So literally that is your foundation.
Absolutely.
Your bedrock, or I guess on Guam, your limestone. Mm-hmm. And this kind of dictates the way you guys do business, the way you guys service your customers, the way you interact with realtors, even from other agencies and other brokerages, right?
Yeah, it does, because it does begin with the property. It does begin with the land. And so I wanted to kind of focus on people that are looking to sell their properties this year. Mm-hmm. What should you think about? What do you need to put together?
Okay, I know I hear a lot of feedback that I get, and people say, okay, I've got land, you know, it's basically jungle right now. There's Tangantangan and Sakati and everything all over. You know, there's a bunch of rocks and everything like that. If I'm going to sell just purely the land and everything, is it incumbent on me to at least make it presentable?
Well, does
that change the value?
There are some basic things. Like if you called me and said, Gina, I'm interested in selling my property, there are some basic things that I'm going to ask you to do. The first one is make sure you have a copy of your latest recorded map. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if you don't already have that, if you have family that, you know, you and your family members have done things over the years, make sure that you go to land management, give them your lot number and say, you know, can I get a copy of the last recorded map on this property, this lot number? So make sure you have that. And then the next thing that I'm going to encourage you to do is to run the title report. Remember, we've talked about this. Your title report, to me, I always explain it to people, it's like an x-ray. It gives you an overall picture of what's going on with the property. And some landowners who already know what's going on with my property, well, sometimes things happen that you don't know about. You know, so the title report kind of gives you the big picture of what's going on with your property. Mm-hmm. And it's always just safe to make sure you have a report so you know, do you have delinquent taxes that you weren't aware of? Are there any liens that have been recorded on this property that you're not aware of? And we've run into that over the years. And this goes
far beyond just the topographical information, like, okay, what's the elevation and, you know, what's, you know, is it above the water table?
And see, those things you don't normally run into just in your normal day-to-day general, I want to sell my property, elevation, topography. You mentioned those two. Those are a little bit, you know, outside the normal thing that I ask people to get. So I ask them to get their map. I ask them to get the title report. And I do ask them, listen, if you're going to go to land management, if you don't already have your map and you're going to go land management, confirm your zoning. Because a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, this is like the map will say, it'll have a lot number and it'll say -R2. And they believe that you can build apartments on it because it says R2. No, that's just your lot number. Doesn't mean that that's what you can do. So you need your map. We need to identify based on the zoning what you can really do on the property, because that affects value. And then the next thing I want you to do is, you said prep the property. You know, you mentioned it earlier. What can we do to prep the property?
Me and a couple of my friends, we bush cut for a few hours, or, you know, we just clean it up.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Jace, because, you know,
I have never seen you smile. I mean, you got a little snarky.
Yeah.
You know,
because you know what? You do not know how often we get, some of our owners are off island. All they do is email us the map and they say, here it is, can you sell it? When I have a map, it's not even like having a picture of you so I can take that picture and walk into a crowded room and say, there's Jace. All it is a drawing of the lot and how it's described legally. So if the owner were willing to, number one, mark the survey points, and yes, it's going to cost money. It's gotten really pricey to mark survey points, but what is the best way to identify property so that you can sell it to someone? Best way is to get the boundary points marked. So when I take them to that street, I can say, listen, the property's from here to here. If it's in the jungle, like I just sold a piece of property that's literally in the jungle. So the road's there on the map, but it's not physically open. So we had to hike in. I hiked in with a contractor, and for an hour, he kind of, we were trying to figure out which direction do we hike, because it's on the map where the easement is, but you got to figure out physically where it's located.
And I'm sure you didn't mind going out to like the clothing store, ordering something online and getting like your hiking outfit, right?
Oh, we have our hiking outfit. It's always ready to go.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sure
I would
you didn't
hike
mind
in, I literally have hiked in my skirt, just put on a pair of tennis shoes.
Really?
And I'm good to go, yeah.
Look that up on YouTube, everybody. That's going to be like interesting.
The next time we have to hike, I'll make sure we videotape that.
Okay, excellent. We will basically show that as a segment. Okay, so we're running out of time, but we just want to wrap up here. Is there what are the most common questions, I guess, that you get? Because you've seen it all, right? When it comes to land, people come to you with every single question under the sun. What is the number one question you get the most often?
Are utilities there? Honestly, that is the question of the year. Are the utilities there so I can build right away? And that, I think, deserves its own episode. Okay, so next time when we meet, we'll talk about that and possibly even talk about the fact that I would rather have Wi-Fi than water. But that's just me. Okay, that's just you.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't flush a toilet with Wi-Fi. Just saying. We'll discuss that. Okay, and we will have that and many more very odd topics.